Welcome to the Sales Dojo Podcast. The podcasts are here to help you address the real issues salespeople face every single day.
So just me and Lee this week, Chris?
Yeah, Susie's back on her travels again. She's quite the international businesswoman, isn't she?
She is, or she just works as a travel agent. I'm not sure which one it is.
Just has lots of holidays, I think.
She does, fair play. So yeah, we've got 6 posts today for me and you to delve through. 2 of them are tips, so it won't take us long, and we're just going to be sharing them with the audience. But the first one is one that you found from Troy Munson. Very American name.
It is. Yeah, I don't know where Troy is from, but he's got to be from America, called Troy Munson. Troy, dead short post, and it just had use all these things. So I thought anybody listening might find this quite useful if they're looking for some tech to help them with stuff. So I've not got a lot to discuss about it, but I'm just going to read a list out. Troy says, if you're cold calling, use Salesfinity, Nux, Orem, Trellis. I don't know what any of these things do, but if you do and you like them, share them with everyone. If you want more meetings from calls, Sure Connect and Titan X. Not sure what that does either. If you need immediate access to documents or data, Loop33.ai. If you're emailing, Smart Lead, Instantly, or Scout. If you're prepping reps with research, Zinnia or Aomni, A-O-M-N-I. He could be making these words up, couldn't he? And I sound like a right whopper. If you need to win more low-hanging fruit, Buyer Experience. If you need to role play, Luster or Second Body. If you need call recording, Fathom or Grain. I'm sure he's making these up as we go along. If you need signals for prospecting, Common Room or Clay. No, I do know about Clay, so he's not done that. And that was it. That's his post. And I thought, I hope he's got some traction. What's he got? 82 likes and stuff and 13 comments.
Yes.
One, it was just quite refreshing to see, here you go, try some of this stuff out. He's not sold. Maybe he works for all these companies. I don't know.
He works for Dimo, so he's not mentioned Dimo, which
He's
I like.
Mentioned Dimo. Just loads of stuff that might help you. It seemed just quite an honest, not a lot of context. Troy, maybe tell me what Nux or Orem are going to do for me. But how many of these have you come across? I know Clay quite well.
Yeah, so I've heard the Clay in Common Room. I've certainly discussed Titan X with someone before. Salesfinity as well. But all the others know. Oh, actually, Smart Lead and Scout as well for email stuff. So yeah, I heard of them. Don't use them extensively. When you sent this over the other day, I looked at it and thought, oh, I'll have a look into that, and I didn't. So this is a good nudge for me to have a look into it and see if there's anything I can use.
Yeah, it's just been nudging me. I'm using, I don't know about you, mate, AI is taking over my world at the moment. And it's that irony with all new technologies, isn't it? It's helping me achieve so much in less time, but I haven't got any more free time. I'm still working the same hours. I just seem to be doing more in those hours. It's not turned into a time-saving device at all, but I'm always on the lookout for cool stuff. And some of these I can't pronounce, so maybe a tip if you're starting a tech stack, make it pronounceable or I'm less likely to look at it. Titan X, that sounds exciting. I might look at that, but the one that I can't pronounce, probably not going to look at that. Not going to type Scout into a search engine. Smart Lead, if you're email, I don't really send sales emails. If you need to win more low-hanging fruit, Buyer Experience. Don't know what that does. Yeah, going to look into these, Troy.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you try one of these or you know about one of these, drop us a line, improve@thesalesdojo.com. Tell us which one you use or don't use. Give us some feedback, and we can share that with the audience. That'd be really cool. Excellent. I like sharing useful stuff.
Exactly.
Next post again is another one of yours, which is from Donna McCurley.
Yeah, I didn't mean to have a theme here, but I'm kind of staying on the AI theme. Bear with me because it's a bit of a story from Donna. Hiya, Donna, if you're listening. Donna said, yesterday I had a call with the Vice President of Enablement, and what she shared blew my mind. Well, Donna, I hope you're all right. We fed AI our top reps calls. So it sounds like she's just seen Gong or something for the first time.
Yeah.
She said, what we discovered changed everything. Bit of poetic license here, I'm sure. I had to know more. It's very exciting, Donna. Well done. She said her company, 400 plus rep SAS, it's a SaaS business, The problem they had, only 3 reps consistently hit 150% of quota. If you've seen any of the recent reports coming out globally, that's not a shock to you. The question, what makes these 3 reps different? So they ran an experiment. They fed 6 months of call recordings into AI. She's not mentioning the platform. Top 3 performers versus everyone else. Find the patterns. They told it. Oh, so these are the prompts into AI. Find the patterns. 45 minutes later, her entire enablement strategy was in the trash. It's getting more dramatic. Here's what they discovered. Discovery. Top reps talk 28% less. Average reps, 64% talk time. Top performers, 36% talk time. All right, nothing life-changing about that. But when they do speak, surgical precision. Okay. Point number 2 they find, they lose more deals. Top reps disqualify 41% of opportunities. Average reps disqualify only 12%. Her reaction, we've been teaching reps to save every deal. Our best reps are doing the absolute opposite. Interesting. Close rates tell the story. Top reps, 68% close rate. Everybody else, 24% close rate. If you could just scroll down a little bit for me, Paul. Next thing they found, the 17-minute rule. No top performer mentions product features before 17 minutes. Not once in 6 months of calls. Instead, they talk about the prospect's competition, 38% of the discovery, industry disruptions, 29%, personal career goals, 21%, and team dynamics, 12%. This person had said, we trained feature benefit from day one. Our best reps ignore it completely. Point number 4, she mentioned, this is going on, my apologies, everyone. They use one phrase repeatedly. The best companies in your space are, appears 4.2 times per call for top reps, but only 0.3 times for everybody else. Always followed by strategic silence. Prospects fill the gap every time. Next point, their follow-up is backwards. Average rep says, here's what we discussed. Top rep says, here's what your competitor just announced. Top reps lead with market intelligence, never with meeting recaps. She showed me what happened next. They rebuilt everything, scrapped the 40-slide onboarding deck. That sounds joyous to me. Threw out their talk tracks, redesigned training from scratch, new approach with master strategic silence, practice disqualification, industry intelligence, competitive positioning, no product training until week 5. But here's what really got me. The hardest part wasn't changing the training. It was convincing leadership that everything we believed was wrong. Her parting words were, if you're not using AI to audit your top performers, you're training your team to be average. And she's right. And then it keeps going on and on. Lot to digest there. I don't think most of us needed AI to tell us that, but it's really interesting stats out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, that was my first thought is, well, she obviously not spent loads of time with it, but she's basically got what I'm not saying it's our thing, but most sales leaders, enablement people talk about regularly on podcasts and social media posts.
Yeah, it's not revolutionized the world, has it, really? Ask more questions, talk less, don't pitch too early, and have industry insights. So not knocking your post at all here, Donna, really useful for lots and lots of people. Here's the thing, if you've got a gong or a refract or a what have you that's out there, like stuff out there for free is going to do this now, isn't it? Well, what are these companies going to do? But if you're not putting your stuff into AI, what are you doing? I've just finished some coaching with a company, really, really lovely people. I could upsell, I could go for the next sell, but they're not there yet. There's going to be a bit of a gap. And I've said to all these people I've coached that I've got on really well with, they've really come on leaps and bounds. I said, use AI. Hey, I want you to act like a top sales coach. Here's my challenge. Ask me some insightful questions to help me get over it. And I'm kind of talking myself out of a job, really, but I've been doing it with myself. Its bounds are endless with it. So yes, you could speed up and do that. Is there any of that AI discovered stuff that came as a shock to you, Leon?
No, I say when I first read it, and it was a long one, so I did the whole scan read thing. As you talk through it there, top reps talk less. I mean, it's conversations. I know Richard Smith has mentioned this loads whenever we've had interactions, podcasts, conversations online, Clubhouse, about the amount of time that people talk. And, it's that age-old thing of, you're good at talking, so you should be in sales. No, you should be fucking good at listening if you're going to be in sales. Lose more deals. So I know one of your favorite phrases, I think if we did one of them things where you check what everybody says the most and do it like a pictogram of it, like on Minimeter, one of yours would be about qualifying out hard. That would certainly be something that you've said plenty of times. The 17-minute rule, I mean, I don't know. I've never sold SaaS, so I can't really have the conversation around it, but fuck me, 17 minutes does feel like a long time to be on one of these calls with someone if we're not having a chat about something a little bit more in depth than, industry disruptions and personal career goals. I'm guessing this is early on in the cycle rather than a little bit further down it. The best companies in your space are, what we've talked about, social proof plenty. I know I was on a little thing that you and Susie were doing the other day, and one of the things that you were talking about was the whole social proof element. Follow up is backwards. Here's what your competitor just announced. FOMO. You don't want to be worried about you missing out because your competitor's doing this. It makes loads of sense. And then, the hardest part wasn't changing the training. It was convincing the leadership that everything we believe was wrong. That sounds like something that we've always talked about as being a red flag, in that this is the way we've always done it. Is someone coachable? Are your coaches coachable? Are your managers coachable? So, not groundbreaking, but, nice to read it out again and go over it. And the fact that, that's a good use of AI to have a look at some call recordings, I would have thought.
Yeah, it shined a spotlight on stuff, hasn't it? And we might be talking about it later, but qualifying out is really in my radar at the moment with some companies I'm working with. So, interesting stuff. Thanks, Donna.
Makes sense. One final one from you. Save the best second name to last.
Yeah, so we always struggle with some name. Joey Butkowski. Joey, I've probably just butchered your name, so my apologies, pal. This caught my eye now, Joey, straight out of the trap. I'm going to say this might win an award for things that never actually happened, but it's very creative and I really like it, mate. I'm sure lots of you saw this. So with a really nice accompanying photograph, Joey said, "My wife dumped spaghetti straight onto a table covered in foil. No plates, just vibes. Our kids went wild. It was messy, chaotic, and one of the best dinners we've ever had." It reminded me, it's a crowbar in a LinkedIn message about this. It reminded me of something I've learned in life and in sales. You don't have to be polished to make an impact. I'm not the most buttoned up guy. I've never been the slickest talker or the smoothest closer, but I show up real and I try to create moments people remember, just like that spaghetti dinner. In sales, prospects don't need perfect, they need genuine. They need someone who makes it easy to connect, easy to trust, and maybe even a little fun. Forget the plates, pour the spaghetti. Well, a little motivational post. I love that. Whether it happened or not, I hope it did. Because
there's a picture of it there, so I would hope so.
Well, it could be fake news. You just don't know. My kids would have loved that when we were younger. Well, they'd probably love it right now if you're listening, Jay and Han and Charlie. There's a point of this, though, which through the story I absolutely agree with, is make it easy. I'm not even going to zoom in on the be authentic bit. Make it easy for your customers to buy. Like, stop overcomplicating sales cycles and processes. When they say yes, shut up. Like, the old rules are the best rules. Go for the sale. Make it easy to trust you. Make it easy to buy from you. Don't get too caught up in looking in the mirror and making everything so overcomplicated. He's talking about sales calls a lot here as well, Joey. And stop over mirror gazing about your sales calls. Pick up the phone, say hello to somebody. Make it easy for them to have a chat with you. People definitely buy off authentic more than they buy off polished, I would say. Would you agree, Leo?
Yeah, I mean, the most common thing that I'll have a conversation with someone about when I'm doing any coaching stuff will be about them worrying about getting it all right, and that's the reason why they haven't started. And the age-old saying that perfection is the enemy of progress. Like, JFDI, just fucking do it. Give it a go. Don't worry about perfection. You know, I personally love it when someone's just giving something a go as opposed to someone wanting to get it right, because I hate the word authentic and I hate the idea of trying to be authentic, because if you try and be authentic, then technically you're not being authentic.
Yeah.
But I do much prefer when someone's just having a bash at something over when someone's like dead polished, and you just sound like you've got a plum in your mouth when you're talking, like when you're trying to speak very correctly and stuff. I'd much rather have someone who makes stuff easy, And the only other thing to add to this post, I guess, would be making it easy to say no. Like you said, all the right things about easy to converse and stuff. Like, just give someone an out so you can save each other loads of time and pain of trying to fucking either A, feel awkward about saying no when you're the customer, so you don't say no and you say I'll phone you back, and B, feel awkward about telling them as a client or prospect that they're not for you. Like, just lay it out there. Tell them this is how we get out of this conversation if we don't want to have it anymore.
How many salespeople right now, dead honest with yourselves, listening to this, haven't picked up the phone today, or haven't booked onto a networking event, or haven't created a certain email because the script's not quite there yet, the sound bites aren't quite, the messaging's not quite right yet. It's just your brain playing excuses. Just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Send the email. Turn up at the networking event with a big smile and maybe some business cards in your pocket. There was a great post we discussed probably a few years ago now. It really stayed with me about the easiest way to be creative is just start creating. Just start that process and just keep working at it. And all of a sudden, really good ideas come. If you just sit and wait until you've got the perfect idea, nothing will ever happen. Just get creative. I'm a big advocate that when we have these drop-down boxes on forms, like what industry you're in, professional services, whatever, salespeople should tick creative arts.
Yeah.
Well, thing that's everybody's doing one massive improv class every day, aren't they? Should definitely tick that. So I like that, Joey. I hope that happened. That looks boss. I might have a word with our Jenny about our tea tonight and go, could you get them chops and those potatoes, and just like, well, my dog would love it. Just throw it on the table and we'll get messy.
Frankie would tell you that she might as well do that for all the mess I make when I'm having my tea anyway. So
I've been out for tea with you quite a bit, mate. I would agree with Frankie there. Yeah. Like
need
a Jackson Pollock.
Need a bib. So next one is from Sales Tips, and I'd not seen Sales Tips on LinkedIn before, so I like the fact that we found someone new and we can follow them. And here's some tips. Number one, ego kills sales, humility closes deals. I agree with the first bit. I'm not sure if I agree with the second bit. Here's how you can actually leave ego at the door in sales. 1, listen more than you talk. Great advice. 2, ask questions, not just sell. Great advice. Number 3, don't take rejection personally. Great advice, but one of the most difficult bits of advice to fucking ever give anyone, because that's like saying just be confident. Well, what do you fucking mean? Like, how do you do that? And that's really tough. Everybody knows feedback, not an attack, learn, refine, and move on. It's one of those like bullshit lines that people say, which doesn't have any, you need to see what you need to do for that. Give credit, don't grab it. Sales is a teamwork. Respect your client, respect your colleagues. Fair enough. I like that. Sales is about proving you're smarter. It's about making your buyer feel smarter for choosing you. I like that final line.
Yeah, and I'm going to let that just macerate over me for a minute. It's about making the buyer feel smarter for choosing you. Yeah, that's a good tag. Obviously, we're going to steal that.
Yeah, it's already been posted on X and Facebook in the last 5 minutes. There's 4 tips there, Chris. Which one would you say would be one that you like the most?
Oh, you've put me right on the spot. Listen more than you talk, I think, is a bit... I mean, all the science shows you shouldn't. It should be 50-50. Otherwise, you're counseling somebody. I go for ask questions, don't just sell. Now, obviously, don't take rejection personally, but as you said, that's like saying don't be afraid of spiders.
Okay.
All right, then. No, I'm glad you said that. I'm fine now. So if I have to pick one, ask questions, not just sell. The more you understand their pain, the easier the sale. Yeah, the more you understand what they need, the easier to find it for them is, or to find that you haven't got it. Like, you can't qualify anybody if you don't ask them any questions. And I've seen a lot recently of one question and somebody goes, oh yeah, that is a problem actually. well, we've got the solution, and they get all giddy and then vomit 80 features at somebody. It's just get used to being, in the famous words of yourself, Leon, a right nosy bastard.
Yeah, I think I actually really like number one, and I like it because not because I think it's true, but because it actually just tells you what you need to do. So most people talk loads and hardly ever listen. So by saying listen more than you talk, which is impossible to do, in my opinion, and also not the right, it will at least get you to try that method of listening a bit more and talking a bit less. Because you're also never going to ever be able to measure it. Like you're fucking not. Even if you use AI to record your call, you know, you're not going to be able to measure when you're listening because hearing words and actually fucking listening to them words are two very different pastimes.
Well, I'm guessing this AI, like whatever thing you're using, it's not measuring your listening, it's measuring when you're not talking.
Yeah.
It's a very different thing to listening to somebody, isn't it? So you're right, it's hard to measure. When did you learn that?
When did I?
So we've both had very long business ownership sales careers.
Yeah.
When do you feel you first, maybe not learned it, but got it? Like, oh, I get it about listening.
Yeah. So I would probably say 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago maximum.
I'm glad you said that. I think I'm possibly similar. Yeah. I think everybody thinks they're a good listener. Like if you had a room full of people and say hands up if you think you're a good listener, loads of people have put their hands up. But we're not that good, are we?
No. So I think it's probably, and I did okay in sales as well, and sales management and sales leadership and sales enablement before then. But I think it was probably only around the time we started doing sales dojo stuff that I actually spent more time thinking about this and then went, ah, right, okay. And then as I was teaching it, as I was talking about active listening, I was feeling very fraudulent because I was stood at the front of a room telling people to active listening, knowing full well the meeting I had the day before, I was just trying to fucking get them to say yes. It was very much an epiphany moment. I can remember the day actually. It was when we did something in the university that time. So maybe 2018, I think it was.
Around them, wasn't it?
And I'd really quickly looked into active listening and then started telling these kids how to actively listen. And then remembered that the meeting I had the day before, I was not actively listening. And I was just trying to get them to say yes to buying a phone contract.
Did you get the deal?
Did I get that deal? Yeah, I did, but it wasn't the right fit. So there's the fucking lesson for you. I got the deal with someone who wasn't a good fit, so I didn't qualify out, and I just thought, listen for an opportunity to sell.
And that will have stayed with you because they probably turned into a nightmare customer as well.
Absolutely, they did. Absolutely cost me time, money, and effort. Absolutely made no money off it in the end. And absolutely, I had to explain to business partners, team members, or whatever, or networks, why it was then not a customer after 2 years.
There we go, kids. Learn how to listen.
Learn from my pain. Don't make them mistakes yourselves. Next one is a post from Robert Coe. And it's a little bit soapboxy, but I kind of liked it. So you don't have to like me or take my call or read my email or return my messages or listen to my full pitch or accept my offer. But understand one thing, I never regret the pitch. You should have put that in capitals, to be fair. I'm proud of what I do and the service I offer and the team I work with and the results we deliver and the bonds I've formed with my clients over 20 years and all the reps I've trained. The benefits for you, not me, are at the core of my pitch. Sales is about taking strength from your reason, motivation from your offer, confidence from your results, and to complete the circle, reason from your clients. If you're in sales or even if you simply sell, you need what you because you need to, never take rejection as a reason to stop. All the evidence points towards the righteousness of your pitch. Dust yourself down and go again. Loads are liked in it, loads are hated in it. I'm gonna tell you what my thoughts or what my thinking was from it rather than going loads into it. My thoughts on it were about the belief in your product or service. So I think the lesson I want to discuss here is that, like, should I say this on a live recording that's going to go out potentially? I don't necessarily believe mobile phones are the greatest thing.
The end of your business.
Yeah, potentially. And I also sometimes think some of the suppliers, like the networks or the mobile phone building companies, aren't the greatest at stuff. However, I have discovered that using them in the business right and correctly can really help a business. And this is one of the things that, like, to people talk about belief in your product or belief in your service. Sometimes that belief doesn't necessarily come from the surface layer element of what it is that you do. Like, as an example, accountant, you might not be dead crazy about accounting, but you could help businesses to stay out of jail by getting the taxes right. And then you can believe in that. And therefore, that belief will allow you to go to more networking events, make more cold calls, toughen your exterior for some no's and stuff like that. So I think for me, the thing what I liked about the post was it made me think about belief in the product and how that doesn't necessarily have to come just from the product.
100%. And yeah, it is a bit soapboxy, Robert, but go for it. Why not? We're allowed to indulge ourselves. Mine's with Jenny and a cake company. It's just cake. Well, there's a million cakes out there. And then a few weeks ago, she got a little handwritten card off a kid, like proper scrawled, just to say how much they made her birthday and she loved the cakes.
Boss.
I'm like, I would have just sent £100 worth of cakes for free. I'd be bankrupt by now from the cake business.
Yeah.
She got a message off a woman I remember the other year saying that she'd bought them as a happy divorce present.
Oh, wow.
And it really made her day on like what was a really sad day, and it really brightened them up. And it's those little things behind the business that you forget. Jenny's not posting cake out. She's posting out a feeling or a memory or whatever. And some days you can't be bothered selling cake. That's not what you're selling. Can't be bothered selling mobile phones. It's not what you're selling. Sales training. Surely everybody knows how to do this by now. I've been training salespeople for so long. Come on, everyone. You must know this by now. But then you get, like we get with the dojo, some messages off people. I've just done that thing that I heard from you to do, and I got this deal and it allowed me to do this. That's what it's about. So if you are struggling, yeah, Robert, well done for this, mate. If you are struggling with your sales job at the moment, try and look, as Leon said, that a little surface level deeper about what you're doing.
I love that. The final post for today, Chris, comes from Luke Egerton. Long time since we've had a Luke post, but I do like his post. I like lots of them, and we share lots of them in the group, but we don't want to speak about the same people every week. These are just some real practical tips. So low conversion rates from cold calling, ? Luke goes on to say, if you're struggling to get past hello, here are 3 questions you can ask yourself or your team to try and diagnose the problem. Brilliant. So number 1, is your number showing up as spam? Now, everyone had a hard on posting about the new iPhone changes recently about how your numbers show up as spam, and there's loads of reasons why you can and can't. It will hurt, absolutely. But equally, mine's set up to do it. Mine does it. And sometimes when I'm in the right frame of mind to have a look at my phone, I notice it says likely nuisance and I don't answer it. But sometimes when I'm busy or I'm driving, I do answer it. So sometimes it will get through. But it just says the solution is call a mobile, see what number shows up as. There's also platforms available that will check for you. So if you are having that problem that everyone was posting about recently, then there's ways around it and ways that you can do about it. Number 2, is there a delay? This is a massive turn off for me. Hello? Last chance. Okay, bye. Some teams will call prospects unaware there might be a 1 to 5 second delay when the prospect answers the phone. This is often found with parallel dialers, although not the case. Solution: listen back to call recordings and observe any delay. If you use a parallel dialer, the delay is most likely to exist. Speak to your provider about ways to combat it, or consider turning human detection off and opting for power dialing, one person at a time. So there's a solution. I know that I get them calls and it really turns me off.
Yeah.
The worst one of them actually is it rings, you answer it, and then it says a recorded message. There's no one to take your call at this moment. I'm like, fucking what? Like, you rang me. What the hell? And the final one is how's the sound quality on your call? Some prospects will tell you if you sound like you're calling from underwater. However, most won't and just end the call with no explanation. The solution here is to listen back to your calls and listen to the quality of the audio. If the issue persists, look at your internet connection, sound settings, and the device that you use yourself. If all else fails, reach out to your provider for assistance.
like a really helpful post for people,
It
isn't it?
is. It's really good.
On point 3,
Yeah.
don't forget your voice in point 3 as well. I think all that applies for how you sound. Listen back, seek some guidance. What's the quality of how you sound? Because we judge people on how they sound far faster than what they've said. So that's why we immediately, like that 2-second delay, you've already made a judgment. I'm not going to take this call. Or that power dialer click, not going to take this call. Have you been driving around, Leon, and you're talking to somebody on the phone, or they're driving, sorry, and their reception starts going? And I was reading a report about this. They've done loads of research into this. Because humans, on the whole, are idiots. I'll put myself in that camp as well. We actually get angry with the person, even though we know it's the tech that's at fault.
Yes.
We have an emotional reaction. We get really angry with that person, but it's not their fault. It's the tech. And I think it's the same with all of this. We have that reaction so quickly. So you might have the best tech in the world and it's super crisp and there's no click and there's no pause. But if then you come on, I said, if you come on sounding like Barney the dinosaur on a course this week, and I realized how old I was, that nobody in the room was old enough to know who Barney the dinosaur was, which just made me feel archaic. But yeah, how you sound on the call, have a listen back. Top advice out of this whole post for me, listen back to yourself. Best learning you're ever going to do.
Yeah, when I first read this post from Luke, it took me back to my favorite book, which is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And there's a section in that which talks about listening to what you say, and then actually listen to your own voices of recording, and then thinking about how you can improve it. Like it's massive, that, and it's something that people don't do. And I'm not saying you should try and be someone else, or you should, but think about, if your job is communication, how does your language come across on a phone call or in a meeting? How do you improve that? Like I use a work voice all the time, because I know that if I use my own deep Scouse accent, then I speak far too fast and no one will understand the word that I say. So I've kind of listened to that and tried to improve it and listen back to it, and how can I make it sound much better? And it's something I think is really important, is like listening to how you come across to somebody else, because your product or service might not be the reason why you're not why you're losing it. It might just be how they hear what you say.
100%. I think, as you put it, how you communicate is your trade if you're in
Yeah.
sales. Like, and I know I've really overemphasized this point in all training, but a professional singer, their trade is their voice. What do? They record it and they listen back. Anybody who wants to be the top of the game has got a self-review. Chefs, sports people, singers, actors. And this is the game we're in sales. What do people say? Oh, no, I'd feel sick. Hate the sound of my own voice. Well, your prospects have got to listen to it. So you should probably get over that.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, good chat. Let me just do a quick sum up of what we've discussed. So Troy Munson gave about 15 or 20 really good bits of tech that we can use if we're in sales. Donna McCrawley talked about the VP enablement, doing some stuff and using AI in order to listen back to calls. Joey Batkowski, sorry, Joey, if I got that wrong, shared a boss story about serving spaghetti on the middle of a table, but most importantly, about how you can make sure it's easy for your clients or customers to do stuff for you. Sales tips, she had 4 really good tips that we liked about how you can leave your ego at the door. Robert Coe, an impassioned talk and post about how he really believes in his product, and we dissected that into how you can believe in your product. And then finally, Luke Egerton left 3 really cool tips on listening to what you've done, listening back to your stuff, and making sure it's better.
Love that.
If you want to find out some more about the Sales Dojo, it's www.thesalesdojo.com. Chris is on 6thdoor.com. Susie is at thesmallstuff.de. And all of us are posting on LinkedIn on regular. If you've seen a post on social media you love, send it over. If you see one you think's a load of crap, send that over. We can have a good look and a laugh at that as well. That'd be really cool. But hopefully, if you've learned something from this podcast, do us a favor and do yourself a favor. Go and teach somebody else what you've learned. because then not only will you remember it better, but we can reach more people and help more people to buy new shoes.